Welcome to the Healthy Screen Habits Podcast. I'm Hillary Wilkinson. Whether you're starting your parenting journey with a newborn or looking to connect with your teen on technology, let's learn some new healthy screen habits together. As the founder for the Center of Online Safety, my guest today is committed to teaching adults how to guide children towards healthy and intentional relationships with technology. To do all this while strengthening offline relationships with family and friends. The Center for Online Safety is the place for adults who want to give children access to the best parts of the internet while also protecting them from predators, bullying, exploitation, and kind of sometimes themselves. Well, I would like all of these things for my family, and I can't wait to learn how to do all of them. So I'd like to welcome to the Healthy Screen Habits Podcast, Lisa Honold.
Hey, Hillary, it's great to be here. I admire your work so much. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. And back at you. We admire you greatly. So, Lisa, I'm interested to hear a little bit about your background. What was your motivation behind founding the Center for Online Safety? How did you get started in this digital wellness space?
That's a good question. What happened was way back before kids, I was in a completely analytical world. I was a CPA. I was traveling around looking at high-tech companies from the inside, auditing, doing all kinds of super analytical work. Then I started having kids and realized the value of heart-centered work and realized there were some gaps in my own training. So I started taking parenting classes. I didn't like how I was parenting, ended up loving the positive discipline style of parenting, loved it so much I became a parent educator. So I've been a parent educator for over 10 years with positive discipline. And as my kids were growing up, I've got 3 teenagers now, I recognized that I was lost. I recognized my fellow parents were lost when it came to what we could actually do as we were starting to hand them tablets and let them have access to YouTube and then get their own phones. So what could we actually do to help with online safety while keeping our relationships strong as they're growing and they're becoming more independent? How do we become more of a coach in the teen years? You know, when the kids are younger, you can be that parent, that strong, controlling parent with rules. That's great. As they grow up, however, we've got to become more of the coach. And I watched a lot of families really struggle with that. And we had our own digital crises in this family. And I really wanted to take what I was learning and tell the world, because there are ways to keep kids safer. I'm not going to say completely safe, because once they're on the internet, there's no such thing. But I want to share with everyone what I was learning and the things that we were doing and the thousands of people that we had helped to create a system of safer activity online.
I love that. Explanation where you're like, to keep kids safer, but recognizing that you're not totally safe. It reminds me of when my kids were little, their swimming lesson teachers would always say, your child has water experience. Nobody is ever completely water safe. That's why you always swim with a buddy. You don't go in tired. You do all of the things, but it's equally important and truly life-saving as swimming lessons, the work that you're doing, keeping our kids safe online.
I love that analogy. It's exactly the same. There are precautions we can take. There are preventive measures we can take, but it's still risky.
Yes, it is still risky. And, I don't know about your kids. I've got one who was like a little mermaid, took to water like nothing, loved every swimming lesson, everything else. I had another who, you would have thought would melt in the water. But I grew up on a lake, and I was so firmly entrenched in, no, we all learn to swim, because I grew up on a lake where I knew of children who drowned. I knew of the dangers associated with water. So as much as our teens and as much as our tweens are pushing back on this, I think for me, it just kind of reaffirms no, all of this digital wellness and digital safety technology, it is as important and as life-saving as that first platform I stood upon to stand, to be very strong and like, no, we all learned to swim in this family.
Exactly. I think one of the differences between online safety and swimming lessons are there were experts in swimming lessons, right? There were people that knew what they were doing, and you were exposing your kids to people who were truly experts. And in the online space, kids think they're experts, right? Mom, what are you going to teach me? You don't know anything about this platform, my mom. What are you going to teach me? And what I want to point back to is we are experts with life experience. We are experts with mom and dad experience, with parenting experience, and we can apply what we know offline parenting, the best practices of offline parenting, to online. And it's relationship. It's checking in. It's letting kids be the expert and saying, did you know about this setting? Just having those conversations as they grow older is so important.
Yeah, I could not agree with you more. And having the conversations often, not just having a one and done, but having lots of little conversations along the way. So, okay, the mission of your organization is to keep kids safer online and help their parents guide them to develop healthy relationships with technology over time. So we hear this kind of phrase a fair amount, this healthy relationship with technology. And I feel like, especially coming out of the pandemic and, during this tech intense year and a half, 2 years that we've been living in, like what, I don't even know if I can define, like what to you, and I don't want to have you feel like you have to come up with the Webster definition, but to you, could you define a healthy relationship with technology?
I can try. And I think you're right. It was a lot easier pre-pandemic. Even parents with great boundaries and rules and limits on screen time recognize at this point that mostly it's out of control. Mostly we've gotten sloppy, we've gotten loose because we had to. We didn't have a choice. We were in that period of time. It happened. Now it's time to tighten up. It's time to get back to screen time and non-screen time. So my definition for a healthy relationship with tech, first of all, I love tech. I am not anti-tech. Right. I am pro-guided use. I really want it to be parents to be guardrails when they let their kids get online.
Sure.
Tech is a tool, and recognizing technology is a tool. All of these devices, they're tools. They bring us entertainment, they bring us connection and productivity and fun with others, right? They also let us create new things, new wonderful things. When I think about technology, it brings all of that into the house, and yet it's just a tool. It's a tool we can turn on and turn off. And we recognize that there are times where it's appropriate to have this tool and times where it's not appropriate to have this tool. So using it as a piece of our day, but not our entire day. The tool should not be running us. We should be running it intentionally.
Excellent. I love that. I don't know. It's a tricky definition, but I think I like how you talk about it, intentional use with boundaries. It's a lot like our relationships with cars. So we have to take a little break, but when we come back, I want to dive into 5 circles of online safety that we can all do with our family.
At what age should I give my child a smartphone? How much screen time should I allow each day? What are the best filters to use on my family's devices? Sound familiar? These questions and more are answered at the Healthy Screen Habits website. We've curated the best articles, books, videos, and many other resources to help you figure out how you want to use technology in your life. Click on the Awareness section to learn about the issues and dangers surrounding screen use. Then click on the Tools page to download printables you can use with your family today, including the Healthy Screen Habits Family Technology Plan. Visit our website at www.healthyscreenhabits.org for the resources and tools you need to get started.
My guest is Lisa Honold, founder of the Center for Online Safety and pioneer in what it means to raise a child who has a strong internal compass to guide their online actions. Lisa, I love this acronym you have for teaching 5 cycles of online safety. It's really easy to remember, which always helps. And I hope you will share today the breakdown of all 5 parts. You've associated an acronym with it, and I love the acronym. And are you ready, folks? It's FAMILY, FAMILY. And is there anything more important? Well, except protecting your own family, perhaps, which Lisa's going to help us with today. Lisa, could you take us through the breakdown of this acronym?
Yes. First, I want to explain where the family protective cycle came from. So that's the 5 circles of online safety that we're talking about. It came from 2 beliefs. The first is that the internet is broken when it comes to kids and online safety. The internet wasn't designed to be safe. A lot of these apps that they're using, not designed for safety. The second belief is, even though that's true, parents can still do some things. We don't want it to give the impression that there's no hope and that there's nothing parents could and should be doing. Parents, you've got some activities you can do, and they're best practices that we want to talk about. So yes, the acronym is family. I love it too. The first F is filter. You can put a filter on your home internet, your router. You should not be allowing everything into your house. There's a lot of garbage out there. You don't want garbage in. So filter the internet. Make sure that the other places your child hangs out are also filtered. Schools have filters. If they have after school care, if they go to grandma's on the weekend, make sure that there's filters in the place they tend to hang out online. Filter is F. A is align. That means talk to your parenting partner, talk to people, adults in the child's life on a daily or weekly basis. Align your family values. So talk about, what's appropriate for our age child, for the skill level and the development level that they're at, what's appropriate for the number of hours they're online, the types of screen time they have, the violence content, the sexual content, all of that stuff. Talk about it, get familiar with what the options are as a family so that you can create rules that you both or all get to stick with.
It sounds like there's kind of an education component with this alignment.
Yeah. I've got a list of questions that adults can use to start to think about, because so much of it, the child brings to you and says, hey, can I play this game? Can I do this? Can I do that? And if you haven't thought about it, it's really hard in that moment to say yes or no with any validity. You don't know what's in that game. You don't know enough to say yes or no at that point, unless you've had conversations and are in alignment on the types of games that you're going to allow them to play, or the types of apps that are appropriate.
Yeah. And I would imagine that alignment kind of has an ages and stages component to it as well.
Yeah. It's not a one and done again. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So we've got F, we've got A. Can you take us through to M?
Yes. M is for monitor. You've given devices. Now you need a way to see what's going on online. You need a way to see your child's behavior and what's happening. How are they treating other people online? How are they being treated? Where are they going online? I don't like spy apps, those apps that take every keystroke and send it to parents. I don't think those are appropriate or helpful. I think they destroy trust in most situations. I like a monitoring app that sends alerts only when there's inappropriate content, where it's a teaching tool and it's a time for parents to say, "Ooh, this just came to my phone. It looks like we need to have a conversation about, inappropriate pictures or memes or whatever alert came your way." It's a chance to train your child while they're still at home, while you still got their ear, inappropriate internet usage. They're not born knowing how to do this.
Right.
We need to help them.
Right. I can totally hear your parent educator voice in that, where it's like, it's about training. It's about training them for independence. And it's also about continually working your connection with your, I recently was listening to an interview with someone who said that if your communication is not working on connection, recognizing it is actually disconnecting. So whatever we're doing, we have to continually, especially during our children's teenage years, I think, you want to continually work that, make sure that your message is coming from one of connection.
Absolutely. Connection and curiosity. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Can you take us on to I?
I is for interact. And that's what you're talking about with the relationship and the connection, right? Let them be the experts. A lot of parents push back when I say interact with them around technology. They say, I don't like their games. I don't understand their social media. I don't know how to do this. I'm not the expert. And my answer is, you don't have to be. All you have to be is curious and show up and ask questions. Who do you follow on Instagram? And, what's their profile look like? Why do you like them? Why do you like this game? Show me what it's about. Show me a level that you're at that's really hard, or what are you working on? Or if they're a YouTube creator, what's your latest video? What's going on? Just be curious and know that you don't have to be the expert. Your job is to start the conversation, ask questions, and see what happens along the way. You don't have to have the goal. The goal is just connecting. That's
right, right. I love that. And in that interaction, I think you're teaching intentional use, because you, by asking these questions of like, hey, why do you follow this person? Or what is this about? Or in coming from truly a place of curiosity, not from a embedded point of view of, I know sometimes the questions can feel like they're kind of trying to steer our kids into one way of thinking about something, but coming from a place of authentic curiosity, it's going to make our kids think more about how they are interacting with the online world, their own self.
Hillary, I'm glad you brought up the tone, because the tone is everything. It's so easy to have a tone that your teen especially feels like it's judgy or looking down on them or condescending. And to come from that place of curiosity, it's light, it's playful, it's, oh, you got to teach me that. That looks really fun. It's not judgy and heavy. And, I know everything because I'm the parent. We no longer have that role. We don't know everything when it comes to tech.
Right. Very true. Okay, awesome. Can you take us into L?
Yes, L is limit screen time. Everyone needs limits on screen time. What we know about limits is when we limit, we do the most important things first. So we're teaching kids about prioritizing, about setting goals, doing the most important things first, having the ability to turn on and turn off screen time, and having the space to be bored, the space to not feel like they're compelled to be online, and throwing yourself under the bus a little bit. And so your child can say, between 6 and 8 is dinner time, and then my mom makes me stay offline. I can't respond to you. So just know that between 6 and 8, I don't have technology. Sorry, guys. Like, just having that ability to say, I get 2 hours of non-screen time is important for your kids. And it's okay to have them throw you under the bus. It's really okay.
Oh, sure. Right. Yes. I've always given mine free license to do that, because
mom.
I honestly don't care. I love that phrase that you just said. It's given allowing space for boredom. Boredom is the first cousin of creativity. So within that,
and what
space,
are they lacking? Yeah, they're lacking that space right now. Mm-hmm. When I see a child bored, they pick up their phone. A teenager especially, the first inclination is, I'm going to scroll and see what's going on. What am I missing? What's going on? What's new?
Right.
Instead of looking internally to what else could be done or what they could create.
Right. I agree. Okay. And we're wrapping up our family acronym with the last one of why.
Why. I'll admit we cheated a little bit on why. The why is actually why. Remember why it matters. This 5 circles of safety, it matters so much to your child or teen's mental health and their physical well-being. This matters at the deepest level.
Right. And that circles right around to the top, what we were just talking about with like as much as swimming lessons, as much as water safety, as much as any other type of safety that we're teaching. So you really are the center for online safety.
We really are.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for going through the family acronym. So now we know what we're going to do to keep with our kids safe and bolster our family connection. But like you said, our kids spend a majority of their waking hours away from us. And we've had this huge uptick in school technology specifically, which again, critical and important for learning during the height of the pandemic. But following up on what you said as well, is it's time for us to take a second look at this. I guess my concern and my question for you would be like, what sort of advice do you have for families who are now concerned about school online safety?
My advice is to ask a lot of questions. Coming from a place of curiosity, again, the last thing that schools need right now are adversarial parents. They are so overwhelmed with getting everyone back in school and back on track. And morale is low at a lot of schools. And what they could use is parents asking questions respectfully and in a partnership, in a way that is connected as partners. Hey, this is what I'm doing at home. What are you doing at school? When it comes to monitoring, do they use a monitoring platform so that they can see if a child is planning to bring a gun to school or thinking about hurting themselves or someone else? Is there monitoring software that is part of their system? And if it is anyone watching it? Like, it's a 2-part question. Is there monitoring software? And then does anyone actually do anything when there's alerts that come through?
Yeah. So the follow through. So when you're saying like monitoring, are you, just for my own clarification, are you talking about the monitoring of school devices or?
I'm talking about everything that's on their network. So if a child brings their own cell phone to the school's network, it would be monitored during that time it's there, as well as the Chromebooks that are online and anything that's on the school network.
I see. Interesting. Okay. So we've got monitoring, and is anybody actually doing anything with that information? Are there any other resources that you could think of or would like to encourage families to use?
I've got a course for school leaders that's all about the 5 circles of safety, but from a school perspective. And it's meant as a way to enhance relationships with parents. I think parents are the missing link when it comes to online safety. And I think that schools can be the educational hub for the whole family. And I see parents struggling with online safety specifically. My dream is to have schools just deliver this content for all families, to kids through digital citizenship and digital wellness, through their parents and caretakers, through online safety classes, and have everyone be on the same page and see how important it is.
Excellent. Okay, so we have to take a short break, but when we come back, I'm going to ask Lisa Honold for her healthy screen habit. Do you know what's happening during your child's online exchanges? As well-intentioned as we are, often reading every text message, post, and email is just not realistic. This is where Bark comes in to help. Founded in 2015, Bark Technologies provides a parental control app that monitors and alerts parents to online threats. Bark was created for parents by parents to offer a better, easier, and more effective way to keep children safe online. Bark monitors posts and messagings for things like signs of bullying and communication with dangerous strangers. Bark's algorithms analyze all activity and issue parents notifications via their chosen communication method. Gain peace of mind and get 10% off of Bark service for life by using the Healthy Screen Habits link. go to our website at healthyscreenhabits.org, click on the Tools button in the drop-down menu, and look for products we endorse to find Bark. It will be the easiest click you make all day. Peace of mind is just a bark away. The Center for Online Safety is a resource for all families. The internet knows no bounds, and we are all residents and citizens of the online world. And my guest today, Lisa Honold, is helping to make sure all families are safe and able to use technology as the amazing tool it was intended to be. Lisa, on every episode of the Healthy Screen Habits podcast, I ask each guest for a healthy screen habit to share. This is a tip or takeaway that our listeners can put into practice in their own home. Do you have one for us today?
I sure do. This is my favorite part because there's so much to learn from this question. My tip is when your teenager asks for social media account, parents, you need to join that account too. You need to get on the same platform, get your own account going and explore. Sit on the couch next to them, explore, ask questions. This is your time to let them be the experts. Browse together, make it a fun thing, whether it's TikTok or Instagram, to just be next to each other and explore and talk about it. And you can use your account that you don't know very well, right? You can use your account as the testing grounds and go to the settings and look at some things and make sure that you're doing best practice and get help from your teen on how to do that. So, excuse me, look in the settings for things like privacy. Is the app automatically pushing you over to be a public account or a private account? If it's public, you should be private. And you can talk about your teen to your teen about that. Who can message you? You don't want strangers messaging you. So have that turned off. If there are anti-trolling features, which I know Instagram just released a feature that lets you block words if there's like trolling words or mean, nasty bullying words, you can block those automatically.
I love that tip. And also in doing that, it can hopefully lead you around the kind of endemic challenge of social media, where I know a lot of teens are creating what they, so if it were on Instagram, they call them Finstas, or a fake Instagram account. And there are ways that you can check to see if your child has a Finsta, which is simply by going to the main page of their account on their device, go onto the main page of their account, press and hold on their name, and it should list all of the accounts that they are associated with. So that's something that's a little tool that not every parent knows to check for. And sometimes there are definitely reasons to have public and private accounts. You know, if you only want 5 family members to be seeing first day of school pictures or anything else. So thank you very much for your tip. Explore online spaces together, stay connected, and learn together. So if
the last part, Hillary, is just using your account as a place to explore settings. And this is a way to get around lecturing or telling them how to have settings. It lets them see the settings and talk through it with you. And hopefully they're going to incorporate those settings into their accounts. Right now, most platforms, it's as easy as toggling on and off. There are no true parental controls that stay on, which is so frustrating. And I hope that will change soon. However, showing them the value of these settings and how they can use them, why it's important to do this on your own account, starts the conversation in a place that's really neutral and not lectury.
Right. It's that tone like you were talking about. And also having that important conversation of when updates come through, a lot of times updates will reset all of the settings. So things that you thought you had checked, all of a sudden you're going, why am I getting this? And it's because some new update has come through and wiped out everything. So teaching them that too, saying, hey, I saw this came through. Did you do that update? Did that same thing happen to you? And
I love that you mentioned that. I forgot that. Yes, I wanted to talk about that.
Because I've gotten nailed by it. That's why.
Me too. Yes.
Yes. Okay. If our listeners would like to learn more about the Center for Online Safety or review the 5 circles of safety, I will definitely link the website in the show notes of this episode on the Healthy Screen Habits website. Thank you so much for talking to me today, Lisa.
This was so fun. Thank you, Hillary.
For more information, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Healthy Screen Habits. Make sure to visit our website, healthyscreenhabits.org, where you can subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts or via RSS, so you'll never miss an episode. It's free, it's fun, and you get a healthy new screen habit each week. While you're at it, if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate you giving us a quick rating. It really does help other people find us and spread the word of healthy screen habits. Or if you'd simply like to tell a friend, we'd love that too. I so appreciate you spending your time with me this week, and I look forward to learning more healthy habits together.